Able to hear me? Hello? Able to see my screen? Okay. So yesterday we completed Marvin, right? So now we can, so we will start Spring as well. Okay. So 2 minutes. Yeah. So sorry guys, disconnected. You able to see my screen, right? Yeah. So before we can start the spring, right? We covered Maven build tool. Why? Because so in spring project, everything is we can use a Maven projects. Some of the modules. Okay. So if you want to work with spring, you have to know how to create the what is the purpose of Maven and how to create the project. You have to understand. So how to create the project and everything I will show you. Okay, so yesterday class you understood, right? What is the purpose of Maven? Why we can use Maven? What is the Maven and what are the different types of Maven lifecycle methods? Everything, commands and all. I will practically show you guys. Okay, what is Maven clean, Maven build, and Maven install? Everything I will show you. Okay. So once Maven you are able to follow, then we can start the Spring. Okay. So after advanced Java, right? We completed JDBC, servlets, and JSP. So in the servlets, we have developed web applications, right? So in servlets, what is the container here? Servlet is the container. Okay, so if you want to work with any web application, right, you have to work with the servlets. So servlets is a in the servlets we have to write some you know manual logic as a servlet we have to write complete code, right? So before starting the spring we have to understand some naming convention terminology or whatever some concepts. Okay, what are those things? So in what is enterprise? What is enterprise application? So enterprise is nothing but a organization, guys. For example, if you are working business organization, if you are working any company, right, that is nothing but one organization. What they are developing application is nothing but enterprise applications. Okay, enterprise application is nothing but for business purpose. They will develop a web application. Sorry, what application. So enterprise is nothing but a business organization. It is a group of organization running under single label. Label means, for example, if you run any application, right? So the corresponding label is uh, um, if you take HDFC Bank, HDFC.com, right? So the corresponding organization name will be the combining the URL. That is nothing but interface. So what is enterprise application? So enterprise application is nothing but it will process the business. It will process. Sorry, it will do the business processing for the enterprise application. So to prepare enterprise application, you have to follow three layers. Okay. So what is the layers? You have to understand. I will show you. I will show you in the diagram. Okay, see, if you work with the enterprise application, there are different layers is available. One is user interface layer and a business layer and a data access layer, like DAO layer, whatever you can call data access layer or DAO layer, or, these type of naming convention is nothing but data storage and access layer. So what is the purpose of what is the user interface layer? So this layer is topmost layer in the application. In the enterprise application, that is the starting point of the layer. User interface layer, it will provide starting point of the user, so interact with the enterprise application. So what is the meaning by starting point? For example, if you take any application like HDFC and net banking or Facebook or Flipkart, what is the first step it will ask? Login, right? So that is the login page where it will come from the UI layer. Sorry guys. So that the complete UI is available in the UI layer, nothing but internally they will use a separate UI technology. Okay, it will provide, it will provide very good environment to handling to, like to get the data or whatever, to get the data from the user, right? Means it will have some form, UI form, right, to submit the data to server. Okay, so what is the purpose of user interface layer? Actually this is the starting point of the application. So it will provide starting point to user in order to connect with application, and it is, you know to get the data from the users to submit the data to the server. It is the user interface layer we can use. And in the server side, it will provide us client side validations. What is the client side validations? For example, if you take any form, you are entering username and password, or mobile number and password. If you give mobile number is correct and password you are wrong, what we will get? The password and the password means the password is incorrect, please try again, like this. And the password, username and password is is not matching. So this type of validations we can do in the UI level, like client side level. User interface layer you could call as client. Okay, client application. Okay, so this is the user interface layer. Okay, user interface will provide user interface, it will provide the environment to send different types of request to server. That is one thing. Okay, able to follow the uh, content, guys? Any confusion from up to now? If not, I will jump into the business processing layer.
Yes, sir. More.
Yeah, so what is the next one? What is the business processing layer? So for example, in business processing layer, what you have to do? Let's assume you are giving in the form username and password, right? So finally, the username password you have to validate, right? Means the username password is valid or not. For example, let's take, yeah, let's very, those things on the here, Gmail. So when you give Gmail, right? Otherwise, see, when you give, I don't want. See here, I'm clicking login button. When I'm giving mobile number, it will validate the mobile number or email is correct or not. So after that, if it is mobile number validate, then only it will ask, you can enter mobile number and request OTP. It will check mobile number email is correct or not. If it is email and mobile number is correct, then only the request will be request OTP will be generated. Otherwise, you will get like see, I am giving something like this. Okay, I'm request OTP. See, please enter valid email mobile number means it's already before you request OTP. So the validation, when you click on request OTP, right, the mobile number will be validated in the server side. It means, so the corresponding mobile number validation or email validation is completed by the server side. How it will be? First of all, once you can hit this, the first of all, the server, when you giving the username and password, the corresponding validation logic you have to provide in the business logic. Okay, you have to write in the business processing layer. So in the business processing layer, you have to do server side validation, and you have to write your business logic. Business logic means if you enter use email or mobile number, it will generate a OTP. Those things and all it will write handling by the business processing layer. Okay. So in business processing layer, whatever you have requirement, right? Let's assume you have a customer table. So customer table containing number of fields. So you have to check the customer details. First of all, from you have a UI form, customer form you have. Let's assume HTML form. You can enter all the customer details. So what is the requirement? First of all, what is the requirement? You have to generate the form. First, you have to write the customer form. After that, you have to write the business logic. What business logic you have to write? First of all, the corresponding get the input details. Let's assume you have a 6 fields: customer ID, customer name, customer address, customer mobile number, customer email address. These things and all, and finally you enter the form. Okay, so next you submitted the, this is the form. Assume you submitted the submit button, then the data will be carried to the business layer, and in the business layer you have to get the all the input fields. Okay, after that you have to do insert operation. So these things and all how you can handle in the Spring, I will talk about later. So in business logic we have to, so it is actually business layer is the very important layer in the enterprise application. It can be used to define all business logic or rules, or whatever you can call rules or regulations, you can write in the business layer. Okay, so if you want to develop any enterprise application, so for the development, to prepare business processing layer, so you have to use separate logic called as business logic. Okay, this is called as business, this layer containing business logic. To provide business logic, you have to use technologies like servlets or EJBs or DAOs or Spring. Everything is using under business processing layer. Okay. So what is the purpose of data storage layer? Data storage layer is the last layer of this enterprise application development. It will provide to, it will provide environment to interact with the database. Okay, in order to perform DB operations. And to prepare this layer enterprise application, we have to use separate logic called as persistence logic. Here, this is the presentation logic. here it is the business logic, and here it is the persistent logic, nothing but DB operations, DB logic. Okay, they will call it as a DB logic. To write the business persistence logic, you have to use set of technologies like JDBC or Hibernate, JPA. These are all the persistent technologies. So able to now you are able to clear, guys. Yeah, is it fine? Able to understand? Yeah. So next. So next one is uh, just a second, guys. So next one is system architecture. Okay, system architecture. What is system architecture? Next concept is system architecture. What are the layers here? User interface layer, business processing layer, data access layer. Okay. So now next, what is the next concept? System architecture. So in the system architecture, right? So to define like to define level of the application, let's say to define level of the application in enterprise applications, we have to use system architectures. Means let's say modules like the corresponding level means, so the corresponding, let's say, modules in the in terms of level, I would say architecture is nothing but how you can design your application, right? In simple way, how you can design your application. There are in the enterprise, in distributed whatever enterprise application architecture, there are three types of architectures. One is one tier architecture, okay, and second two tier, and you can call it as hyphen, okay, and two-tier architecture. Okay, and the next one is three-tier architecture. Okay, so these three types are available in the enterprise application development. It's called as two-tier architecture. One-tier, two-tier, three-tier architecture. So first of all, what is one-tier architecture? Right? So quickly I will finish this one. So why I am explaining these things and all. So if you want to familiar with these things, in the once you can onboard in any project, right? They will talk like this. I mean, they will talk this terminology and all. You are able to understand very easily. Okay. Now, what is the one-tier architecture? So in the one-tier architecture, right? You have to prepare or execute the complete enterprise application with a single mission, right? So let's assume this is the, let's say we can take this example, right? Here, let's assume this is my application structure. I'm using single or one-tier architecture. So what is mean by, so to execute or prepare any enterprise application by using one-tier architecture, it is combining in the it will run in the single mission. It means the corresponding one-tier architecture, all the enterprise application layers, whatever user interface layer or presentation layer, business layer, everything must be in a single mission. So if you provide, it's a tightly coupled mechanism. Okay, so this is nothing but tightly coupled design. It will depending on one layer to another layer, right? Why? Because it is everything is running in the same mission. For example, if you change any UI logic, you have to deploy whole application in the server. For example, if you change DB logic, again you have to deploy the whole application in the database. This is the one of the disadvantage. For example, if you work with only user interface layer, sir, I changed only my user interface layer. Why I will change? Why I will deploy my application? Because of you have to do redeployment in your server. Why? Because user interface layer, business layer, database layer are tightly coupled. In the sense, it is
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
hello, guys, able to hear me? Hello. So Sunil, Chakradhar, or Aishwarya, you people are able to hear me? Please confirm.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Uh, yeah, Chakri, you are able to hear me, right? Hello. Okay, fine. See here, why we are using one tier? What is that? Some at disadvantage, right? Once you can change any layer of change code, you have to redeploy the whole application. Why? Because you are using the application is running, all the layers will be running in the same mission. So it means it will provide less security and less reusability and less shareability. This is one of these are all the disadvantages between one tier architecture. Okay, now two-tier architecture. We can go for two-tier architecture. So let's say I have one application. Simple, just to can understand this one. It's very helpful. Okay, this is DB. Okay, and this is nothing but data access layer. Okay, and this is nothing but module 2. Okay, module 2, and this is module 1. Try to understand the difference before application and this application architecture, and this is user interface layer. Finally, this is business layer. See here, so finally the corresponding application containing two modules. Okay, one is module 1, module 1 and module 2. Module 1 is containing user interface layer and business layer, and module 2 contain data access layer. Finally, the data access layer, it will connect with database and it will retrieve the data. Okay, so in the one tier and two tier architecture, so now if you want to change any data access DB logic, no need to redeploy the module 1 application. Why? Because this is separate application and this is separate application. Now, so once you can change the user interface layer or business layer, you have to deploy only module 1 application. No need to touch module 2 application. Okay, so in the two-tier architecture, you have to distribute the complete enterprise application over two modules, two missions. Let's say I will not talk about I will not talk about module, it's a mission. Okay, okay, mission 1 and mission 2. So mission 1 and mission 2 containing, mission 1 containing user interface layer and business layer. User 2, mission 2 containing only database logic. So if you change anything in the data access layer, you have to deploy, you have to redeploy the application in the only data access layer in the mission 2. No need to touch mission 1. Okay, and moreover, in tier 1 mission is able to manage in tier 2 mission, in tier 2 architecture, tier 1 mission is able to manage operation logic, presentation layer and business layer. In the tier 2 architecture, modern mission 2 is only handling DB operations. Okay, and moreover, tier 2 architecture, the corresponding we are able to get loosely coupled design. Wherever tier 1 is the completely tightly coupled. Tightly coupled means one layer is depending on another layer. In the sense, if you change any interface layer, it will automatically, you have to redeploy whole application. It will affect second layer, right? So but in the tier 2 architecture, they have separate missions for the business layer and data access layer. This is loosely coupled. There is no any dependency between first layer, mission 1 and mission 2. They are individual performance. If you change any user interface layer, we have to change, we have to deploy mission 1 application. If you change any data access layer, you have to change mission 2 application deployment. So this is nothing but there is no any tightly coupled design. It should be a loosely coupled design. Okay, and moreover, if you want to use database logic in some other application, you are able to reusable this component complete. The DAO layer you have to reuse computer completely, means it will provide reusability, shareability and security also. This is the advantage of two-tier architecture. Is it clear now, guys? Yeah. So now three-tier architecture. So this one also very important, guys. Okay, what is the purpose of three-tier architecture? And first of all, I will give you the diagram. Later on, after that, we will discuss the bullet points. Okay. So now this is mission 1. Mission 2. Mission 3. So now finally you are aware this is the database. Yeah, guys. See here, three-tier architecture is three-tier architecture is nothing but it's containing three individual missions. For user interface, you have one mission. For business layer, one mission, and data access layer, one mission. Finally, database. So if you work with like this, there is no any tightly coupled design, right? Every layer is containing their own mission. So if you change any user interface layer, no need to touch remaining two services. If you change any business layer, remaining applications no need to touch. Why? Because they are all are individual missions. It means very loosely coupled design we are framing by using three-tier architecture, right? So if you use three-tier architecture to improve application server component shareability, see here, and the corresponding database components also divided. So if we use three types of enterprise applications, right? Sorry, individual missions, there is no any dependency on one layer to another layer. So this is the why three-tier architecture is popular. So more reusability, shareability, security is available by the three-tier architecture. Is it fine? Able to follow? Now we completed the system architecture. Okay, next we have next one. Sir, enterprise applications. What is enterprise application? What is the architecture design for enterprise application? So next one is how to create the enterprise applications. How many ways you have to develop the enterprise applications, right? So there are two types. So what are those are? First one is web applications. Next, distributed application. Okay, so now what is the difference between web application and distributed application? So when you work with web application, it will follow client server application. Okay, it's a web application is a client server application. So let's assume in the servlet mechanism you are developed some web application, right? Login page or whatever registration page you have, that is containing browser is the client and the Java application is the server. Okay, this is nothing but web application is a client server application. So the complete application logic is so for example, web application is containing client server application, where distributed application is containing application logic is in the application logic distributed over the server machine. That is nothing but distributed application. Distributed application, sorry, wrong. So web application is a client server application, and the complete application logic is distributed among the server machine, right? So let's assume best example is servlet. So you prepared one form and you given the login details in the login form, and you click on the submit button. The corresponding data will carry to the server machine, nothing but server application, right? So in the servlet you are executing some logic, and finally you are giving the response to the server, and the server will display the browser. So means the complete application logic, it will distributed over the server machines. That is nothing but web application. Okay, so what is distributed application? Distributed application is a client server application only, but the complete application logic will be distributed over client machine and the server machine. Okay, they have separate individual missions for client and server. That is the difference. Okay, to prepare second point, to prepare web application, we will use a set of technologies like servlets, JSP and all. To prepare distributed application, we have to use some distributed technologies like socket programming, web services, EJB, RMI, remote to RMI, Corba. These things under distributed application technologies. Okay, the main next point, the main intention of web applications to generate dynamic response from the server. I already explained in the servlets and JSP. What is the main difference between servlets and JSP? By using servlets, it is not possible to write presentation logic, and you cannot possible to divide presentation logic and business logic. To divide presentation logic and business logic, you can use JSP. By using JSP, you have to generate dynamic response. That is the one of the example for the web application to then generate the dynamic response from the server. So the main intention of distributed application, right, to establish the communication between local machine and remote machine. For example, let's say you developed one web application. Finally, your application is done. Your local testing, everything is done, and you have to deploy some higher environment like dev, QA and all. So how you can do? We have to certain process to do the deployment in the higher environment. So finally you completed the deployment in the QA environment. How to access? By using remote services and remote servers, right? For example, like let's say here we have a local host, right? Instead of local host, in the real-time scenario, you have some IP address or some URLs will be changed by providing by the higher environment. That is nothing but how to use the corresponding application maintenance and all. So now next point is, so by using web application to execute by both web servers and application. So web application is able to deploy in different types of servers like application server and web servers. So in distributed application, the application will be executed by only application server. It is not possible to deploy in the web servers. That is one difference. Guys, up to now you have any doubts? Otherwise, I will repeat one more time all the steps. Differences. Okay. So now web application, by using web, so for web application, right, it will write any web components like servlets, JSP, which are executed by the web containers. What is the web container for servlet? Servlet is the web container. Okay. In the distributed application, to distribute the components like EJB or all the technologies, we have to use by EJB container. In distributed application, you have to execute by using EJB container. In a web application, that is nothing but web container. And the final one, the corresponding web application is in web application, client is fixed, like web browser is the client, and in distributed application, client is not fixed. Based on the it may be a normal Java program main method, or it should be a graphical user interface, applets and user. You can create the client, and maybe you can use a servlet programming or JSP programming. These are all the difference between web application and distributed application. Okay, now next one is we have some model architectures. There are two types of model architecture. Model 1 architecture, okay, and model 2 architecture. Okay, so what is the model 1 architecture? In model 1 web application architecture, we will use JSP page as controller as well as presentation part, right? For example, in model 1 architecture, let's assume you are using JSP, right? In the JSP page, you are writing Java code as well as HTML code. That is not, so that's what they are telling. So the corresponding JSP page, it will act as in the model 1 architecture application. JSP page, it will act as a presentation part, and Java based logic also you can use model component. But in the model 2 architecture, model 1 architecture web application, JSP page is acting as a controller, whatever web application, right? So it will follow the corresponding JSP page rules and regulations, right? So, and moreover, the corresponding model 1 web applications, JSP is it will act as a JSP container. Whatever web container is the
it will act as a container, web container. Why? Because JSP is the web application, right? Not a distributed application. Okay. So, and another one is model 2 architecture. So model 2 architecture, the corresponding in model 2 web application architecture, we will use servlet as a controller and JSP as a viewport, and the corresponding Java class containing DAO layer, everything is model components. That is the difference between model 2 and model 1. So model 1, it containing fully, it will occupied as a JSP, but in the model 2 architecture, servlet is a container and JSP logic, JSP containing view logic or whatever. In the model 2 architecture, servlet is acting as a controller to control the complete web application. Okay. So now in the servlet, in the model 2 architecture, so the servlet, it will take the responsibility to take all the requests from the client, and it will do the process of for our application. Any doubts, guys? Any doubts? So now next point is, next one is rules of MVC architecture. Very important. In real time, they will use this one only. MVC architecture means model and view controller architecture. So MVC is the one of the design pattern. It will define standard template to provide the prepare web applications. Okay, what is the MVC architecture? MVC is the design pattern to provide. It will define to define standard template architecture of the web application. Okay, by using MVC, it will define to execute web applications. By using MVC architecture to execute MVC web applications. So, and one more thing, if you use any MVC based application, we must use a servlet as a container, controller, and set of JSPs as a viewport, right? Let's assume in the, I given one example in the servlets, like MVC architecture. It will contain controller, service, and DAO, right? So all the logic available in the particular business logic available in the controller, service layer, and view logic is available in the JSPs, right? So, and in the MVC application, in MVC based web application, you have to provide single controller per application. Okay, that is the one of the rule. And moreover, in MVC web application structure, controller will take all the request from the browser, and it will process the business, it will process your request, and it will generate the response to the client. That is the main intention of controller, whatever container. Okay, and moreover, in MVC architecture, the controller, both control and view are not responsible to get the data from the model objects. Like model component means model whatever entity classes, or like model classes, entity classes, pojo classes, you can call whatever you can call as. Sir, how it will get the data, right? In the Spring applications, I will explain these things and how you can handling the data and all. Okay, these are all the rules and responsibilities of MVC architecture. Okay, so now what is framework? So now up to we are introduced some terminologies and what are the architecture designs and what are the web application, distributed application, and what is the MVC architecture principles. Finally, what is framework, right? So if you want to use third party organization providing, so for example, if you use third party libraries, once you can write any application, right, 70% of implementation by using third party libraries, like a developer maybe take a responsibility to provide remaining 30% of implementation, right? It means there is no any, like developer, it won't handle anything. Only developer is providing 30% of logic. Remaining 30% it will come from third party libraries. In the above, in this situation, so the corresponding some of the third party organization like Apache Software Foundation, or different types of outside third party libraries is available, right? Those are all providing 70% of implementations. Okay. And it will in the form of frameworks. Okay. So what is the framework? By using third parties, it will provide 70% of implementation for our application. The corresponding implementation in the form of their product is called as framework. Okay. So by using these frameworks, we can design what is the framework is containing different types of mechanisms. Framework is the collection of tools and APIs, guys. Okay. Framework is a tools and APIs. It will provide very good environment to prepare enterprise applications in the simplest way. Okay. So what is the advantages from the framework in order to develop enterprise applications? So frameworks will be define standard template design applications. Means framework will be providing template design applications, simple standard templates. Okay, that is one thing. Frameworks will define a some execution flow between components. Okay, frameworks will follow for it will provide some flow of execution in between components. So, and one more thing, so frameworks provide parallel development and modularization. See, in the sense, framework by using, for example, if you use Spring framework, assume I'm currently in my application, I'm using framework, Spring framework. By using Spring framework, Spring will provide some flow of execution as well as modules also. That is the nothing but third third point. And moreover, fourth point, by using frameworks will provide commonly used security, okay, exception handling, data validations, and IIT9 means internalization. These things and all is providing by default framework. Okay. And moreover, frameworks will reduce the development time. Let's assume without a framework you have to develop, let's assume in the servlets you are writing entire code, right? But in the framework, some of the classes you no need to write. For example, let's say you are calling the you are in the servlet application, you are storing the database, right? In the in data you are storing the database. For that one you have some already predefined classes is available. This is nothing but if in this case, if you are already you have a classes, no need to spend much time on the development, right? You can use the existing classes, you can develop your application. So and one more thing, by using framework, it will reduce the application development time, sorry, cost, right? That is one advantage. And finally, frameworks will provide productivity. What is the productivity? If you without a framework you are developing application in the 10 days, but if you use a framework you are able to finish in the 5 days. That much difference is between normal code development and by using framework. Okay. So there are two types of frameworks. One is web frameworks, and second one is application frameworks. So what is the difference? What is the example of web frameworks? Web framework is nothing but struts, JSF. Okay, these are all web frameworks. Application framework is nothing but Spring. Okay. Any doubt as of now? If you are okay, I will directly jump into the Spring history. Next, we are starting from here. We will start the Spring. Any doubts up to now, guys? You people are started working on JD. You are practicing the JDBs and servlets, guys.
Yes, sir.
So please practice. If you are getting any issue, please ping me, or if please call me. I will guide you. Okay, at any time. So what is the next one? Spring history. So when it will so the corresponding Spring history is nothing but, so the first of all initial version is started in Spring one is started in the 2020, sorry, 2004. Okay, and more currently used version is, I mean, currently in used version is Spring 5 also currently is running. Okay, the latest version is Spring 5. So what is the sir? I need to go through some documentation for Spring. We have to use http colon spring.io. You can follow. Okay, this is the official website for the Spring. Okay, and based on the Java, okay, Java and Servlet API, they framing the Spring framework. Okay, so it will provide, it will support all the IDs and servers like IntelliJ, Eclipse, STS, and Tomcat server, JBoss server. These are all it is supporting by the Spring framework. Okay, so design tool, how we can design the Spring application by using Spring tool shoot or Eclipse. Okay, and IntelliJ. These are all the supporting tools. Okay. Any doubt? Directly, I will jump into the Spring modules. Spring modules. So here there are modules available, like first one web module. Okay, second one data access or integration module. Okay, next one AOP. AOP in the sense aspect oriented programming. Okay, now next module is core module. Spring core, very important, guys. Spring core. Okay. And moreover here, so module, web module containing different. So in the web module containing, okay, web module containing WebSocket. Okay, how you are using web module? By using servlet. Okay, web and portlet. Okay, now what is data access and integration layer? We can use JDBC, okay, and ORM, okay, and JMS. And accept programming containing like exception handling, those things in the Spring, how you can use exception handling by using AOP and all. Okay, in core module containing Spring Beans, okay, dependency injection, sorry, DI means dependency injection, and Spring expression language, okay, and scopes, everything under core module. This is sample, but when you're talking about these things, I will explain some other concepts also. Okay, so these are all the modules. Now next, first one, steps to prepare first Spring application. So up to now we completed the introduction. Now we will actual jump into the topics. What is the first one? Steps to prepare first Spring application. So what are the steps you have to perform? First one, you have to download Spring framework. Framework means, guys, it's not any software like a dependency jar files. Okay, now second one, provide Spring setup in Eclipse. So now we are using STS, right? STS or Eclipse. Okay, third point, prepare bean class. Okay, fourth one, prepare bean configuration file. Okay, fifth one, prepare client or test application. What is the steps available to prepare the Spring application? Download the Spring framework related jars, provide Spring setup in STS or Eclipse, okay, and prepare bean class, and prepare bean configuration file, and prepare client application. So I will explain in the examples what is the bean class, what is the configuration, why we can use configuration file, everything I will explain. Okay, now, so what is first step? Download Spring framework, right? So we have to download, jar Spring jar files. Okay, you have to download Spring jar files. What is the step here? Spring jar files download. So how to download? See, okay, go to here. Mm, yeah. I'm showing spring jars download. Okay, so how to download these jars? Otherwise, what is the so currently we can use Spring 4.1.6 jar download. Okay, see here Apache. One second. Click on this jar files. Okay, first link. You are able to get the links. Go to next one. Yeah, this one. Oh, this one also Maven repository. I don't want Spring Framework 4.1 releases. Yeah, here otherwise repo dot spring hyphen io. Spring io release. Yeah, correct. So this is the link actually. Spring. So directly I will give the release. What is the release here? 4.1.6 release. Just assume find here. This is the link. Sorry. 4.1.6. Yeah. So now here, which one you have to download, right? See here, Spring Framework 4.16 release dist.jsp. Just download this repo. Okay, once you are able to download, maybe go to downloads here. Already I think I downloaded, but first we have to take the URL, this one. Please save this URL, guys, for your reference. So here, once we can open URL, right, you are able to see like this. You have to download first one. Okay, once you can get it directly. Okay, I think I have downloaded work spring jars. See here just extract those dependencies. You are able to get like this. Okay, in the dist folder, whatever in the download section, right, I will show you right here. See, see here already available, guys. See here coming to, right, means somewhere it's already downloaded. Just extract these things. Okay, now go to here and framework the lips. This is all the jars. Okay, now so once you downloaded these jars, right, save copy this folder and save in your workspace. Okay, put it in somewhere. Okay, and moreover you need to download some commons logging jar also. Go to here. commons logging jar. Okay, see, directly go here, commons logging jar. Okay, click on this link, commons logging jar. I'm talking about what are the required jars you have to work with Spring, guys. Okay. Now go to here, show folder. See here, right click, extract. See, the file is downloaded. Again, we have to extract this file. See, see here, the jar file is available. Okay. So we have to extract these files. Okay. Now this is the way you have to download all the jar files. Okay. Now you have to install STS. So STS, this is the big problem. STS for download Windows. Yeah, see, now it's downloaded. I will check with Sushmita. Sushmita, can you share your screen? Maybe yesterday some issues went going on, so that's why we were unable to download the version. Now I am able to download the Spring Tool Shoot. So share your screen. I'm again and again I'm telling, without practice it's very difficult to do the project in real time. We have good knowledge on Spring Boot and microservices. Once you can get into the projects, very useful for you guys. Okay, again I'm telling. Yeah, click on this link, Sushmita. Come down. Yesterday which link? Yeah, correct. Download it. See, it's downloading. It's having 543 MB. Okay, so the first of all you can practice. It will take JDBC. It will take one day, or not 1 day, 2 hours. It will take servlets. It will take if you continuously continue means for a day you are doing 2 hours of spending in servlets. So it will take maximum 1 week for understanding also. So you have to understand the servlets easily, then Spring is very easy. Why? Because Spring framework is designed by on top of servlets only. Okay. So please keep it in mind and do the practice. Now if you are not, if you practice, you didn't see the difference. Now once you can get into the project, you are getting Spring Boot project, then you come to know, oh, these things and all already I know, like that. Without practice you cannot do anything. That is my personal suggestion. So now go to click on this yeah, yes, Tom. Yeah. And moreover, once you can anything download, right, any software, please make a folder, software folder. You have to keep it there. That is actual good, right? If anything, sometimes software is corrupted, you are able to open, then you can uninstall and you can again you can reinstall. So directly you click the Sushmita. Go to otherwise go to downloads. Copy. Right click, copy. 1 second. What is this STS 4.7 release already you have? Can you open that folder? In downloads, second one is there, right? Whatever you current yeah, correct. Okay. Copy this folder. Yeah, copy this entire folder. Yeah, copy. Go to your software folder. Yeah, paste it. This is the way you have to download the STS. Okay. You downloaded one jar, right? I mean the corresponding STS, right? When you click on that one, it will show some unpacking the STS to. Then once unpacking, you are able to get the folder like this. Okay. Don't confuse how I will get this folder. Is it clear? Simply today I will I will show how to open the Eclipse, and tomorrow onwards we will start the Spring examples. I mean Spring we will start. Okay. How to create the Maven project, how to create the Spring project. Maven project slowly I will introduce. Okay. Initially not required. Initially normal Spring normal Java project is fine. Going forward, like once you can enter into the Spring Data JPA or Spring MVC, we can talk about Maven projects. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Sushmita. Can you open? Yeah, open. Can you double click on last third icon? Last third icon. Green mark, green leaf symbol is there. Yeah. Double click that one. In real time, guys, we have to use only three. One is a Eclipse or a STS Spring Tool Shoot, otherwise IntelliJ. These three IDs you can use mostly Java developers. Okay, guys. Tomorrow I will show you. So once it will the corresponding. Yeah, once you can click on this icon, right? It will open IntelliJ like Eclipse. Okay. Tomorrow I will show you. So Sushmita, one right? You can close it. Tomorrow I will show you in my mission how to create the project and all. Okay. Tomorrow you can join again 8 a.m. Today, guys. Please back up these URLs. Anyone don't take, if you take, please take the URLs. Yeah. Thank you, guys.